The 898th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with promo code MMA SGPN.
Heidi ho, DeGenerinos. Welcome to episode 898 of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. That's dedicated to Adam Awesome O, who always is liking and retweeting my stuff on the site formerly known as Twitter. So this goes out to you. I am still Jeff the Killbilly Fox, and we've got a Dana White Contender Series Week 3 episode for you, which means, of course, I got Daniel Gumby-Reeland riding shotgun because he is the Dana White Contender Series whisperer of sorts. Slow start to start the season, but that tends to be the way these things go. Last week it started to pick up in terms of picks and in terms of action in the cage, and now we've got another 5 fights going down this coming Tuesday that Gumby has all the winning plays for. Thoughts on this week, thoughts on the season as a whole, thoughts on anything, Gumby?
So it's nice to see last episode that the action picked up. I am a little disappointed that Dana's standards went down too. Like it felt like after that first episode, maybe he was just fired up that there were some really bad fights. But like, you know, he passed on Yuri Panfarov in week 1. And in my opinion, Yuri Panfarov looks so much better than Josh Hokett. And granted, Hokett, it was at heavyweight, but like he didn't look good at all, in my opinion.
No.
He looked like he's an auto fade coming forward against anybody with cardio or takedown defense. And God help him against somebody who's got both. So like, yeah, like it seems like his standards went back down, which is kind of a bummer. And then this card, not too bad, although it did take a hit because, you know, one of the co-main event fighters fell out. I don't know the reason necessarily. And then they pulled one fight right off and threw it on UFC Perth. So we'll break down Elijah Ellison versus Brando Persic on a later episode because we don't have to on this one anymore. But yeah, so like then they had to, you know, find a fight out of thin air. So it took a little bit of a hit, but there's still some good stuff on this one.
Yep. All right. Should be a fun one. No odds as per usual because the books are cowards and they want to see what side Gumby's on before they start making odds. How have the odds lined up with your predictions to pass the first 2 weeks?
Pretty equal. Yeah, pretty normal. The number on Panfarov like went up and down, up and down, up and down, and eventually closed at better to 2 than 2-1. And you could say the same thing about Jimmy Drago versus Ty Miller, but like apart from those two fluctuating pretty heavily, they've been pretty much where I've expected.
All right, cool. Let's dive into it. After I remind you, Sports Gambling Podcast, that would be the boss's podcast, is giving away a $1,000 circa NFL future bet with the phrase that pays. You can submit your phrase now at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/phrase, PHRASE. All right, let's go to the Apex, UFC Apex, Dana White Contender Series 2025 Week 3. This Tuesday, as per usual, 8 p.m. as per usual, ESPN Plus as per usual, 5 fights as per usual. Like originally going to be 6, which would have been.
It was never going to be 6.
Oh no, really? They added one after the fact. Okay.
Yeah, they added Abbey versus Johnson when they pulled Perisic versus Ellison.
Okay, we're going to talk about Abbey versus Johnson right now. Heavyweight fight, Darion, Abbey, Donte, Johnson, both Americans. They're heavyweights. We'll tell you about Lockjaw first, Johnson. Lockjaw Johnson.
That's not it.
What?
I'm so mad it changed on Tapology. Oh, come on, you don't remember?
No, obviously
This is 2 entrees.
Oh, this is 2 entrees.
This is 2 entrees.
Well, he got Lockjaw from 2 entrees, probably, right? Eating them at the same time.
I don't know how he got.
Changed his nickname. That's not good. Well, I guess I stole 2 entrees from him, so that must be why.
I'm bummed.
He's knocked everybody out. He's 5-0 with 5 knockouts. This Lockjaw 2 entrees guy. He's fight down to 205. 1-0 as a pro kickboxer, 6 years younger than Abbey. Abbey's 7-4, 4 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times, submitted once. He also has rounds. Both guys do, as a matter of fact. Yanni's picking this one to go the distance. He has won 3. Actually, no, inside the distance. He's won 3 straight and 5 of 6. 2 straight wins via finish. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get a shirt, get a merch, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. The only time, no, actually, I'm going to say it one more time. 0-1 Bellator, RIP. 0-1 in LFA. Used to fight at 205. 2-0 in bare knuckle MMA. 3-0 in pro kickboxing. 6 inches taller than Johnson. And based off their last weigh-ins, 40 pounds heavier, but I think Johnson was at light heavyweight.
He was a light heavyweight. He still is.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Bring her down.
Yeah, I'm going 2 entrees. My guess is like negative 350-ish. Look, I know he's a light heavyweight and he's taking this on short notice up at heavyweight. But if you look at most of his regional fights, he's had a lot of trouble finding light heavyweights who would fight him anyway. You know, the only one who would was Ryan Ford in that last fight. And I mean, he flatlined Ford in pretty violent fashion. Ford, 4-0 prospect, also really fun to watch and really exciting. But, you know, Johnson is just lightning quick with the hands for a dude of his size. He's really good if he can get your back against the cage and just tee off. Like, if you look, almost all of his knockouts are like he hits a guy, they don't want any more, that they back up, and that's like the wrong move. You know, he's electric with the hands. You know, I mentioned it in the Ryan Ford fight, before we broke it down, because that was one of the fights we broke down on the show right before Fury Challengers 14, which you can go back and watch our video for that. But I said, like, I am just like a touch worried that I've never seen the takedown defense of Donte Johnson. Like, I just don't know. I'd love to say that, like, he's the real deal, but, like, nobody's really tried to take him down before, and that obviously leaves questions. But, like, Darion Abbey's looked terrible in terms of the grappling. Like, his last opponent was, like, I don't say 7-8 or 7-9 and scored a takedown on him, like, pretty easily. He looks like real rigid standing up. He is much taller, but I don't think that'll matter. Like, his arms are, you know, they're way out in front of his body, and like he's kind of got some like dumb tall guy defense that he's developed. That, I mean, it's worked at times, but he also got knocked out by Tim Johnson fairly recently. I don't think of Tim Johnson as some sort of big power puncher, right? But he got and Tim Johnson's not terribly tall either, right? He's only like 6'2" or something like that. So, you know, I think Donte Johnson is going to close the distance. I think you're going to see him start to, you know, just absolutely rip bombs. I think it's only going to need 1 or 2 to land in order for him to knock out Darion Abbey. I don't think this line will be something that we're going to be looking for anyway. So, unfortunately, give me Donte Johnson, probably at a huge favorite price.
Okay, we'll take him. A win's a win. And lockjaw 2 entrees is the old play here. All right, before we get you more winning plays, let me tell you about mybookie.ag, where you can play all these winning picks we're giving you. We're brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet in every sport, including MLB, WNBA, golf, and of course, football futures. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. They have easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Check out all the MMA lines over there. And when you do head to mybookie.ag, use our promo code MMA SGPN for 100% bet back bonus up to $500. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code MMA SGPN. And Rhythm, RITHMM. NFL is back on Rhythm. Last season, Rhythm was 76-66 against the spread and 22-19 on over-unders. But they really shined on player props. For example, 15-8 on Josh Allen passing props, which is a 23% return on investment. And of course, Rhythm has MLB, WNBA, golf, and college football as well. Go to the site today and start building your NFL models for week 1. Do you have any plays, Gumby?
Yeah, sure.
NFL?
I'll take the Rams over the Texans in week 1. I think they're only given 3 points here, and you know, even without their wide receiver core being as deep as it used to, although I guess they supplemented it a little bit too. I think they should cover 3. That number's probably only as low as it is because people got questions about Stafford, and I trust his health a little bit more than most people. All
right. Get your 7-day free trial today. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, RITHMM. See what Rhythm has to say about Matthew Stafford and his health. All right, moving up the old Contender Series fight card at the Apex. We are going down to lightweights now. Cristian Pérez, no H in Cristian. If you're looking it up, he is from Mexico. He is fighting Manoel Sousa. He is from Brazil. Like as I said, lightweight. Sousa Manumito is a nickname. 12-1, 7 knockouts, 3 submissions. Never been finished in a fight. He did win his last fight. He went 1-1 in Bellator, RIP. 1-0 in LFA, 1-0 in PFL. So he's fought in high level already.
And that loss in Bellator was super high level. It was Archie Colgan, who's a beast wrestler.
Yep, good loss. Regional champ, used to fight at 170. Puas is the nickname for Perez, which means barbs, I think. So maybe like barbed wire type of thing. 13-1, 4 knockouts, 6 submissions. He's never been finished in a fight. He owes some finishes then. He's won 5 straight, 4 straight via finish. However, he's not fought since December 2023. He's not lost since November 2021. Used to fight at featherweight, 0-1 in pro karate, 2 years younger than Sousa.
I'm going to go underdog here, or at least what I assume will be an underdog. I'm going to take Cristian Pérez. I kind of assume with as good as Manoel Sousa has been, and he was in LFA, and that's a promotion that the bookmakers tend to give a lot of credence to. Pérez coming from Combate, again, good promotion, harder for American audience to watch unless you have Telemundo. I think they're still on Telemundo, right? Combate.
Yeah, last I heard. Yep.
Yeah, and they never put their fight cards out early enough for me to care about whether or not to watch. I'd try to watch them if I knew who was fighting on their cards.
Might even cover an episode if they.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can give odds because the card comes out the morning of. But yeah, Cristian Pérez. I went back and I watched a bunch of his fights on Combate because they're pretty available after the fact. It's the funny thing, dude. He's he throws these long straight punches that they're fast, but you don't expect them to be hard because he's hitting you from really far away. He's a really long, lanky guy. And you're oh, that jab probably hurt. And then the guy's down and unconscious after he gets hit with these jabs. And he's dropping dudes with jabs. And then when he throws the straight from his backhand, dude, it's so it's melting people. And it's crazy to me because he doesn't even look like he's hitting that hard, but he's so precise and he hits you right on the chin and just really does damage. And I think it's sneaky good. And then also he's got kind of a pretty good jiu-jitsu game. I've noticed I've seen some arm triangles out of him and stuff like that. I think this one's mostly going to take place on the feet, which is another reason why I like him, but I think he could hold his own on the mat. Sousa, on the other hand, I like his jiu-jitsu. His positional jiu-jitsu is really nice. I don't like his wrestling. I think his wrestling is kind of underwhelming. So as a result, I think Pérez can keep the feet here. And on the feet, Sousa is a guy who, he slugs and he throws really hard, but it's it's like the anti-Cristian Pérez. I've seen him throw looking like he's throwing with his whole ass, and the guy gets hit, and it's just kind of okay, whatever. And so he's throwing these big, wild, heavy, looking like he's throwing everything he's got into him, and it's doing some damage. And he's knocked people out. I'm not saying he's got pillow hands, but I am saying he's surprisingly not heavy-handed considering what he looks like he's throwing versus the exact opposite from Cristian Pérez, which I thought he was jabbing and shadow boxing, and somehow that guy just dropped like an anvil. And so there's that piece of it. And then there's the part where Pérez is just like a sniper, whereas Sousa is the exact opposite. He's going to try to get in your face and just throw wild hooks and brawl. And I think Pérez can just stay out of the way of that and just pop him. So for me, again, I think he's going to come in maybe a 2-1 underdog here. You might be able to get him in the high 1s, low 2s. And I really think the power of Cristian Pérez plays up here. So I'm going to take a stab at a dog here, say Cristian Pérez.
All right, let's see if the typologists agree with you. Yeah, I think they do. Yeah, Pérez 28%, so yeah, it should be a dog. So they're agreeing with your take on the dog here.
28%, that's...
Yeah,
I'd say that's probably right around 200. Yeah, that's probably what we're getting.
Excellent. All right, we are going to light heavyweights next. This is a 205 fight, Alik Lorenz, Abdulrakhman Yakhyaev. He is from Turkey. Lorenz is from the United States of America. Let's break it down. Yakhyaev is Hunter, 6-0, 2 knockouts, 3 submissions, 2 straight wins via submission. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get a shirt, get a merch, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Last time I'll tell you, this episode at least. Used to fight at 220, 4 years younger than Lorenz. Lorenz is 6-1, 5 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out once. He owes Browns. He's won 5 straight fights. He has not lost since October 2021. He went 4-0 in LFA. He's an inch taller than Yakhyaev.
You want to hear a fun stat about that loss? Please. That loss for Alik Lorenz. It was against Darion Abbey, the guy who's filling in on the beginning of this card. The 7-4 journeyman knocked him out in 33 seconds. And kind of a rough loss there for Lorenz. But here's the bottom line: Lorenz is a guy who's done really well in LFA with a mixture of wrestling, boxing, right? He's all right on the feet with the boxing, little stiff, not particularly fast, but like all right and good enough to get in on takedowns against these LFA regional light heavyweights. Yakhyaev, on the other hand, is like really devastating with his strikes. He stands kind of rigid and upright, which is kind of surprising, especially with a guy whose last name ends in EV. And he does have good wrestling. I'm going to add that to the equation too. Like he gets in on a double, you're not going to want to be there. But also like, strong kicks from that stance. He keeps his feet underneath him really well when he's throwing his hands. He's a guy who like could really pick apart somebody like Lorenz. Like Lorenz, in my opinion, he wants to win this fight. He's got to get in on a takedown 30 seconds in. He can't hang around on the feet here with Yakhyaev. It's just not going to go well for him. He's not powerful enough. He's not fast enough. And then, why I'm ultimately picking Yakhyaev here is I don't think he can take Yakhyaev down. Like, I think it's his only path to victory is to like try to bring it that way. And I don't think he can do it. For me, it's Yakhyaev all day. If I were him, I'd keep it standing. I don't even think he needs the takedown here. He could probably just dazzle Dana White with the hands. He looked great in Aries. I went back and watched the fight with Paulie, the guy, and he looked just fantastic in that fight. So yeah, I'm gonna take Yakhyaev. My guess, he's probably gonna be a sizable favorite. Negative 250. I'm gonna hope the Lorenz success in LFA helps bring it down, but I'm gonna say negative 250.
Let's see what the typologists say. They say Yakhyaev 90%. So boo to that.
Negative 250, negative 300, that range.
Yeah. All right. Before we get to the last two fights, let me tell you about Circa Million and Circa Survivor, the world's greatest sports book, which is, of course, Circa Las Vegas. They're hosting the world's biggest pro football contest, Circa Million, Circa Survivor, and Circa Grandissimo with over $21 million in guaranteed prizes. You can't call yourself a true degenerate if you're not competing in the Circa football contests. Come hang out with SGPN at the Circa contest weekend going on right now, August 21st to 23rd, for an amazing weekend, including live shows and open bars. Plus, you get 15% off a stay at the Circa with promo code SGP15. The contests are open to everyone. Sign up in Nevada. Play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com. Use promo code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. And Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. No waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best Ball is the best way to play fantasy football. Underdog is also a great place to play at Pick'em, where you can win up to 500 times your entry. Gumby's got a winning play for you right now.
Yeah, let's look to Friday in the MLB. Braves playing the Mets. I'm going to take the higher than on the hits, runs, and RBIs of Michael Harris II. If it isn't broke, don't fix it. 11 games in a row, he's hit the higher than on his hits, runs, and RBIs, and he gets a rookie in his second start, and he's a righty in Nolan McLean here in this one. So give me the higher than on Michael Harris II's hits, runs, and RBIs.
Quite the run for him. So get in while he's still on his heater. Plus, listen to this. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds only when you sign up with our code MMASGPN. And we got two fights left. We are starting with featherweight bout. Márcio Barbosa, Brazil. Damon Wilson, United States. Talk about Wilson first. He's the Nomad. 9-2 with 6 knockouts. He's been knocked out once. He's won 3 straight and 4 of 5. 2 straight wins via TKO. He's not lost since June 2023. He went 8-2 in Cage Warriors. Used to fight at 135 and 155. He's 2 inches shorter than Barbosa. Takoto is Barbosa, 16-2, 13 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out twice. You owe us around, sir. He's won 3 straight and 6 of 7. The past 3 wins, all via TKO. Has not lost since November 2022. 3-1 in LFA. He's fought at 135, 5 years younger than Wilson.
I'm going to go Damon Wilson here, probably as a decent-sized underdog. He might even be a bigger dog than I just mentioned Cristian Pérez will be, like 225-ish maybe for Damon Wilson. I think he's worth a play here. Barbosa obviously got the hype over there in LFA, and he's good. He keeps his hands up high. He likes to throw bombs. He moves forward. He cuts the cage off pretty well. All of those things. Damon Wilson is just a guy who won't be backed into a corner. Like you can't. This dude is gritty. He is gonna move forward in battle with you. So first of all, I like that. Second of all, I really like that Damon Wilson throws some pretty hard leg kicks. because I've watched Barbosa's fights and he doesn't check anything. Because his hands are high and he's like really watching out for somebody punching him in the head. His body and his legs really open for shots. And Damon Wilson likes to work there. So I like that about Damon Wilson. I'll also say Damon Wilson in the clinch, for two guys who don't necessarily like to take a lot of steps backwards, Damon Wilson in the clinch has been deadly. His last two wins have both come by knees in the clinch. One, he hurt the guy to the body and then went up top. The other one, he just went up top. So like, he's looked exceptional in the clinch, doing damage there. So like, we got a guy who, you know, keeps his guard high, but a guy who exposes that. And then on the other side too, the other thing I don't like about Barbosa is he's not a guy who seems to like to counter punches. Like if you watch most of his recent fights, when his opponent is throwing, he's on defense. When he can move forward, he's on offense. But there's no blending of the two. There's no, I backed my opponent in the corner, he throws, I throw in return. It's he throws and I back up and then I move back forward and look for my opening to throw again. And with Damon Wilson is all gas and no brakes. And so if Damon Wilson comes with that strategy, I'm not sure Barbosa will like know what to do with somebody who's like constantly in his face and not giving him an opening to be first. In a lot of Barbosa's punches are one and done. He doesn't throw in combinations. So what happens when, even if he does get close enough, you know, Barbosa does feel comfortable to throw one. What happens when you just throw one and the other guy's in your face for 3 or 4 more punches? Like, is he then going to flail? Is he going to be able to put together nicer combinations? Is he just going to take a beating? You know, and with Wilson going to the body a lot of times, I think that's probably where it'll work. Like, he'll throw up top, maybe get one from return on Barbosa, and then you'll see him hit 3 or 4 to the body and legs and stuff like that. I think we're going to see Damon Wilson really rack up the strikes. And then on top of that, too, I am going to put one caveat in there. Damon Wilson does dip his head forward quite a bit in some of his fights. There's a chance he dips it forward and Barbosa snipes it one time. But like with his big and sluggish, he likes to slug, right? He wants to throw the big punch. With as much as Barbosa likes to do that, the idea of him hitting a one and done shot seems a little tougher for me against Damon Wilson, again, especially as tough as he is. So I'm going to take Damon Wilson here as hopefully a pretty big underdog.
Yeah, 8% are only in on him, so
that's crazy. He's been really good in Cage Warriors too. Like his whole career was in Cage Warriors.
Yep, high level. Yep, for sure. There you go. Hopefully you can take advantage of that when the lines drop. To our main event, it is at middleweight. Trent Miller, United States. Ryan Gandra from Brazil. 3 5-minute rounds, 185. Gandra's Problema. 7-1, 3 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out once. He's won 6 straight fights, 3 straight via finish. He's not lost since April 2022. He went 2-0 in LFA. He's a regional champ, or was a regional champ. He's fight at 205 and heavyweight, 2 inches taller than Miller. Miller is the Terminator, trying to terminate the problem. 8-2 is 6 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been submitted twice. This is a short notice fight for him. He has won 2 straight and 3 of kind of. Okay, Gumby will explain. He's won 2 straight and 3 of 4. TKO win in his last bout. 1-0 in LFA. He's fight at 205. Explain yourself.
Yeah, so if you were if you're listening to this on Thursday, the day that it drops, Trent Miller was supposed to fight tomorrow at LFA. And when Gandra's opponent dropped off, they needed somebody on short notice. Miller was already on weight because he was supposed to make it on Thursday, and instead now he's going to have a few extra days and he's going to make it on Monday. Do you remember you there's no way, but I'm going to ask the question anyway.
Of course I don't.
Do you remember when we were doing our LFA preview for this week and the lightning round rolled around and I said, hey, I really like this guy, Jake Woodley.
Yes, I do remember that actually. Yes,
Jake Woodley. He was a 5-0 prospect. He took a tough prospect loss against another undefeated fighter. And then I think they're giving him a get right fight at LFA to get him back on the right track. He was supposed to fight Trent Miller, and I was taking Jake Woodley on LFA, which tells you what I think of Trent Miller. He's 5'11" at middleweight. He's a real short guy. He's like buff as hell, but his striking is so slow. There's not really a lot of wrestling there. Like I saw him try to wrestle this dude who was 7-9 in his pro career, and he just like The guy turned his hips and he went right by him and wound up on bot. Like he just like fell. It was like almost like a bull and matador thing. And I was like,
yeah.
He just missed. Like he missed the takedown and not by like a sprawler. And like he just missed. And so like for me, Trent Miller, like his record is way better than he is in my opinion. And I don't even really love Gandra. I'm going to be honest with you on this one. Like I thought he was going to lose the original fight he had. I was going to fade him in that one because like, you know, he kind of swings the left hand extra hard and finds himself off balance sometimes. His takedown defense good. I like his takedown defense. But he's a little sloppy on the feet. The thing is though, is I think he's 20 times faster than Trent Miller when it comes to stuff on the feet. Like I said, he's good at grappling defense, and I don't know. I've never seen him shoot a takedown, but if what I've seen from Trent Miller, I think even if Trent gets in on a takedown, I think Gandra is going to change the position and be the guy on top, based on his fundamentals. So, Gandra is going to be faster, tougher, bigger, probably a better grappler. Trent Miller was also focused on fighting somebody like Jake Woodley, who's, like a, big, stocky wrestler type of guy. Gandra is completely the opposite of that. So like he wasn't even prepping for the right kind of guy here, and he's going to take this on 4 days notice, or 4 days from when he was supposed to have fought. I hate that. So I'm going to take Gandra here. I think he's going to be like -600, -700, and I'm probably not throwing that in parlays, but I'm also not. I'm not putting my hard-earned money on Trent Miller at any time. Like I don't think he's ready for this level of fight yet.
95% on Gandra, so people agree with you on this for sure. All right, let's recap and get out of here. He's got Gandra, he's got Wilson, he's got Yakhyaev, he's got Pérez, he has got Johnson. You can come watch Contender Series and chat with it. You can watch all the events and chat with us in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. On the YouTube, make sure you subscribe first, please and thanks. MMA Gambling Podcast. We're always checking the comments there. On Twitter, SGPN MMA. He's at Gumby Reland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer, at Jeff Fox Writer on Instagram as well. Get in my Substack. Check out my free UFC Pick'em contest and all my writing at moneymma.substack.com. Listen to Gumby's other podcast, Top Turtle. Tell the people who they'll be listening to.
Yeah, we got Gage Young, who is fighting this weekend at UFC Shanghai. And we also got Dom Marsan, the also known as Street Buddha, who is going to be fighting that Road to the UFC tomorrow.
Check out Top Turtle and check us out at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. We'll be back when? Probably midweek. We're taking a few days off after 7 episodes for you this week. It will be me, Problema, Fox. It'll be the Nomad Gumby Breathing. We'll see you when we see you. Bye.